We're back. We're a little bit late this morning. I'm a good house guest. I'm not going to raise a bunch of hell in somebody else's house, and it needed to be light enough for you to be able to see me, so we're delayed this morning. We'll be back to a regular schedule this afternoon because we'll be home. It is now 65 degrees in Bradenton, and in Indianapolis, we're going to get an inch or two of snow, and that is not something that I'm looking forward to. So, regardless, let's talk about Indiana basketball. Indiana basketball yesterday with a loss. Never really close. I know they got it down to 5, but it never really felt like they had a chance in this game, which is unfortunate because at home, at Assembly Hall, you got to be able to win games, especially if you want to go to the NCAA tournament, and Indiana is not. Rise and grind, Kent, damn right, is what we do. Although, it's just grinding. I mean, honest to God. You know what I mean? I got palm trees around me at 65 degrees, blazing sunshine, just awesome. If this is grinding, sign my ass up. People are getting very, very discontented with Darian DeVries. And you're right to be discontented with Indiana basketball. Because over the last, now we're into the 10th year of abject mediocrity. And we can't respond to that with great patience. We can't say, you know what, this is just our lot in life. We're going to be right around 500 in the Big Ten every damn year. We're not going to go to the NCAA more than 20% of our seasons. And this is what the expectation needs to be. We need to reduce our expectations. Let's go. That's not what this needs to be. What this needs to be, although I understand it and I'm patient with you for it, what it needs to be for Darian DeVries is an accommodation that this is year number 1 for him. It's year number 10 of complete, total impatience for us. It's year 1 for him. Not everybody's going to be able to turn this thing around in a year. Or in however, what do you have, like 2 months to build the schedule? For God's sake, that's not going to happen. I know that Dusty May had success initially at Michigan. I know Pat Kelsey did at Louisville. I know Indiana did with football and Kurt Cignetti. But those are the outliers. That's not always going to happen. What's really important with basketball is that in 4 years, this thing is on its rails. They have established a culture, and they have the talent and the personalities needed to be able to succeed with it. And that's where we got to be. We'll talk about the Colts a little bit. Colts, they're still looking at guys at the Combine. Combine continues. We'll see what they wind up with. They don't have a pick in the top 45. Their first pick is 47. You are not going to get a plug-and-play starter at 47. So you're going to have to rely on free agency to lift, as Chris Ballard has assessed, and correctly, lift the needs of this roster to get them over the hump. The hump being 9-8, 8-9. You got to get better than that if you want to make the playoffs, and that's got to be the standard. Your standard is either contend for championships or it's not. And for the last 5 years, this team hadn't sniffed championship-level play. And I don't want to hear about last year and the 8-2 start, the 7-1 start. That's irrelevant to me because a lot of that had to do with the schedule. I know people are saying, you know what, it was Daniel Jones. They all played together. The offense was humming, which it was. But they were humming against terrible defenses. Let's be honest. The schedule at the beginning of the season really favored the Colts. They did play the Rams tough. Should have won that game if not for A.D. Mitchell. That illegal block on the JT touchdown late would have been a touchdown. Absolutely critical. And then, of course, dropping the ball on the way into the end zone. My God almighty. So right now, what is the penalty for that level of stupidity? It's a one-way ticket to the Jets. That's what that was. The Pacers, they lost last night to the Grizzlies. You know what? We don't enjoy watching the Pacers lose. I'm sure the Pacers don't enjoy losing. But we're going to enjoy it a hell of a lot more if basketball, professional basketball in Indianapolis, if the Indiana Pacers get one of the top 3 picks in the draft, and to increase your chances of a top 3 pick in the draft, you got to lose now. So there you go. They're second from the bottom, a game and a half ahead of the Kings, and a game, I think, or a half a game? I don't know. They're in the bottom three. Bottom three is where you got to be. And then you sweat out the lottery. Because if you get the lottery right, if the lottery goes your way, and you're in a position to take either Cam Boozer or A.J. DeBonsa, ding, ding, and ding. This is Breakfast with Ken for Monday, March 2nd, 2026, brought to you by the great people at Today's Dentistry, Dr. Michael Menil, the best dentist in the world. He's been my dentist, my only dentist for the last 33 years. I don't plan on ever seeing another one. He's great at what he does. As a team, great at what they do. Front office is excellent. You want a great dental experience, you want to call 317-849-2933 and make an appointment with Dr. Mike O'Neill. Yeah, you got a hole in your mouth. He's got a hole in his schedule for you. Call Julie, tell her that Ken told you to call. Become a member. Membership has its privileges. We did a wonderful coffee with Kent on Saturday morning from beautiful. I think we were right here last Saturday. I think we were right here Saturday morning, and a bus came and asked me if I wanted to ride, and I said no, I don't ride buses. No shade to those who do, but I don't ride them. Becoming a member is a great way to support the channel, by the way. Become a subscriber, and it's a great way to win prizes. Today, we should get the package of 4 autographed jerseys from Pristine Auction. Could be a Peyton Manning, could be a Pat Mahomes, could be you don't know. Could be a Sam Darnold. We don't know. But we're going to find out, and we're going to find out later today. We'll do that live. As long as I've got the package, I can't speak for the people who are delivering it. If they get it to us, we will share it with you, and we'll do that this afternoon from cold as hell Indianapolis, where it's snowing right now. What? That seems impossible, inconceivable. But you've got to be a subscriber to win. You have to hit you have to make the comment with the phrase that pays, and the phrase that pays today: patience. Patience. That's the phrase that pays. We got to be patient with Darian DeVries. If not, Indiana University basketball. Archie Miller, a terrible hire. Mike Woodson, a terrible hire. You can argue that Woodson should have been fired a year earlier, paid off, and Indiana hires Dusty May. You can make that argument, and I wouldn't dispute that argument, but I think that Darian DeVries has a good chance to get this thing right. He just got to get it right, and he better get it right quick because people are getting upset. It's not going to be this year. This is not a very good basketball team right now. We saw that yesterday. We saw that against Northwestern. We saw it against Illinois. We saw it against Michigan. We saw it against Purdue. They're not very good. They don't compete straight out the gate. They dug themselves a 9-3 hole, allowed shots that were too easy. That defense is not communicating well with each other, and that offense is not moving with alacrity. Still, they don't seem like they know exactly what they're doing, especially when opposing defenses extend a little bit and make moving the basketball challenging for Indiana. And it's a shame. Make sure, smash that like button, and if you want to make a donation, no big whoop. But please include a comment or a question that elevates the level of discourse on the channel. Can you? All right. Let's talk a little bit more about IU, and then we'll shut down the IU talk a little bit because, frankly, it's same old, isn't it? I mean, we're not getting anywhere. Every single game is like every single other game. They fall behind early and then have trouble kind of crawling back. They find a way to play competent basketball for long enough that they don't allow their opponents to disengage. You know what I mean? Like that 13-point lead doesn't become 25. It becomes 7. And then it goes back to 13. And then it's 7. And then it's 13. Teams know what they need to do in order to beat Indiana, and it's getting monotonous. But that's what this team is. Darian's seat will get a lot hotter next year. You know what? I don't know. Why is Enright on the team? No. You know what? He plays good, hard defense. That kid's out there trying. They're all out there trying. Dorton's out there trying. Wilkerson's out there trying. DeVries is out there trying. They're trying. Reed Bailey's out there trying. They're just, you can't win with that level of talent in aggregate. Like, I think you could take any two of those starters, plug them in as starters with three better players, and you've got a potential Big Ten championship team. And I think Enright's one of those. But I don't think you can go to war with these five guys, any five guys on that roster starting, and think you're going to compete against Michigan State. Tom Izzo's been there for, 30 years? He's established that culture. He's established the recruiting pipeline. He goes out and he gets guys that he needs to play championship-level basketball. Michigan, Dusty May, he was the right guy to bring in to lead Michigan back from where Juwan Howard took them. Illinois, they figured it out. Brad Underwood, he's got guys. Lots of Serbians. The Serbians, they're going to play tough guy basketball because they're tough guy people. That's Serbia. Like the war-torn Serbia, you get war-torn guys who understand how to compete. They compete for their lives in Serbia. Competing at basketball, they can take care of that, right? You've got Purdue. Their culture goes back to 1981. Indiana doesn't have a culture. Tom Crean didn't put together a culture. Archie Miller didn't put together a culture. Mike Woodson was the definition of the absence of culture. Darian DeVries is going to try to put that together, get good players at IU who can compete at a really high level, but it's going to take some time. Not everybody can be Pat Kelsey and Dusty May and Kurt Stignetti. So he's got to keep working at it, and we hope for the best, right? But year one, not exactly what we wanted. You have got to exert a little bit of patience with Darian DeVries, or you're going to be part of the problem, not part of the solution. That's just the way it is. And, hey, what do we got, a week? Less than a week till the opening of spring football practice? I'm not used to habituated toward figuring out when spring football practice is. We never thought about spring football practice. When I was a student, it was like, hey, what those guys doing? They're practicing. They don't play till fall. We had no idea what we were doing as football fans. Recruiting will be a big deal to see if Darren can get good players to come to IU and play for him. I think the class coming up is really pretty competent. They got some guys coming in, Prince Alexander Moody among them, good players. I think that people think that he's trying to run out Trent Sisley. I don't know what would be gained by running out Trent Sisley. He's not playing him. I don't know if he's working at developing him behind the scenes and then not exposing him. I don't know what's happening with that. That troubles me a little bit. I just don't think that we know. But we'll find out. You know, as time goes on, this team needs one alpha dog. Yeah, I think you're right. It shouldn't take time with the transfer portal. Well, who's going to want to come? You got to get the right guys to play basketball the right way. And what you get in the transfer portal, you can get stung by talented guys who are not talented in the noodle. Look at the kid at USC who's now left the team. He's their leading scorer. Kid's, 26 years old. He went to Auburn. He started at Duquesne. He went to a junior college. This guy's been all over the damn place, and there's a reason why. Because psychologically, there's some unsettlement in that brain. And so you got to be careful that you go get the right guy. Not go get the most talented guy, but go get the right guys. And that's what DeVries tried to do this year. It didn't work. Hopefully with some high school guys, with Sisley, with Ristich, you get a core where you really need to find some plug-and-play transfers to come to IU. Maybe you can get that done. The Indianapolis Colts, at 47, they're not going to get a plug-and-play guy. At 47, you're going to get another Alec Pierce. You're going to get another TJ Tuimoloau. And believe me, I don't mind either of those guys. Alec Pierce is fine by me, right? But he's really good after 4 years. That fourth year, he was really good. Third year, he was better. First year, not so great. That's what you're going to get. A guy with holes in his game, and he's got to develop. So free agency is where you got to go get talent to lift the level of defense. Unless you just get blind-ass lucky. You know, and people point to Darius Leonard. The reason people laid off Darius Leonard is because they knew the score with Darius. He was a really, really light linebacker who had trouble staying healthy. He hit really high. If you're 217 and you're going against 240, 245, and the 240's running 19 and you're running 19, that 217's going to give way. And that's what Darius Leonard weighed through a good portion of his career in Indianapolis. Like, we can monitor weight. I don't know if we can anymore, but there were screens in the locker room where you could kind of glance and see what guys weighed. I was like, I wonder what Darius Leonard weighs. It's like 217 and a half. Holy shit. How's this guy surviving? And he didn't. And that was the expectation, and that's why people weren't on him out of South Carolina State. But you got to get somebody like that who can come in and be a dynamic game changer, or you got problems. You got to do it through free agency, and if you can get lucky at 47, get lucky at 47. People are talking about who will replace Nick Cross at box. I hope nobody. You got to re-sign Nick Cross. He's the one tough guy in that defense. He, despite being light, right, he sticks his nose in and he makes tackles. I like Nick Cross a lot. First 2 years, not so much. That's another story, right? Nick Cross, they traded up for in the third round. Nick Cross wound up developing. They did a good job with Nick Cross. I hope I like Sicily. I hope not. I like Sicily. I like Sicily too. Sicily is a tough-ass kid. In high school, he was the biggest kid at Mount Verde, and so he drew the toughest big defensive assignment. So he's 6'6", 6'7". He's going up against 6'10", and built like Dwight Howard. That's tough. Good morning, Ken. Is there a Two Big Brains episode coming anytime soon? We do it on the radio. We do the Power Hour, and I don't think I'm going to be back in time to do a Power Hour today. So maybe Wednesday or Thursday on 14:30 a.m. in Indianapolis, where I used to do afternoon drive. What are you going to do? Life's just a big circular event, isn't it? Pacers last night, losers, which we love. That's all. Why is Sicily not playing? I don't know. I'm going to trust DeVries that he knows what he's doing. I don't know why Sicily isn't playing instead of Reed Bailey. Maybe to be the kind of player that Sicily has to be, needs to get stronger. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't understand. I got to believe he does. He had that one stretch in a game that was an important game, and he had 10 points in about 2 minutes. Like, that kid can do some things, do some good things, and I don't know why he's not. I don't know why Ristich isn't in there. I guess, maybe DeVries made a pact with the seniors, said, you come here, it's going to be your season, and we'll see what you can do. Maybe I don't think he's that silly. I don't think he's going to make that kind of an idiotic promise. Pacers, losers, and we need more losses. 21 games left in the season. Let's go get 21 losses. That way, you guarantee yourself a bottom. The odds of getting a top 4 pick, the highest odds, go to the bottom 3. Let's hope that happens. Let's celebrate some birthdays, shall we? Peter Nagel, happy birthday to Peter. Steve Eiler, celebrating a birthday. Thomas Edward Murphy, celebrating a birthday. The great Jeff Ziegler, celebrating a birthday. Peter Palmer, happy birthday. Carol Davenport, happy birthday. Todd Bergner, happy birthday. And, of course, Jim Burrows, happy birthday. If today's your birthday, you celebrate like hell. If it's not your birthday, you celebrate somebody else. That's best done with an honest and specific compliment. Lift each other up. Don't pull each other down. I'm going to enjoy the remainder of this weather. I think we fly back at 11:45 this morning. So as of about 11:50, I'm going to become disconsolate, depressed, miserable for a little bit until I reacclimate myself to 40-degree weather. Going to be very, very unpleasant. We'll talk to you later today, live from Indianapolis.